She disappeared that night. 5 years later, there was a knock on my door. This is your first time here? Welcome. You didn't find this by mistake. Maybe you're meant to hear this story. Wherever you're watching from, drop it in the comments. I read them all. Now let's start. I was half sprawled across the couch, that kind of slouch you fall into after a long, endless week. A documentary about deep-sea creatures played softly on the TV, but I wasn't really watching. My thoughts had drifted somewhere distant, somewhere heavier. Then came the knock. Not soft, not shy, just one sharp hit, decisive like a verdict being passed. I froze. Nobody knocks out here. Not where I live. Out beyond the tree line, down a forgotten gravel road most people can't even find on GPS. Then came 2 more knocks, firmer this time. I muted the TV, my chest tightening. Rising slowly, I crossed the room and opened the door. There she was. Lena. 5 years gone, no calls, no messages, no trace. And now she stood on my porch, like a ghost that finally remembered who it used to be. She looked different. Not old, just dimmed. The easy glow she once carried had faded. Her hair was tied back carelessly, her skin pale, her eyes tired, like she hadn't truly rested in years. "Hi," she said softly, her voice trembling. I didn't answer, just stared. "Can I come in?" she asked. I could have said no. Probably should have. But I didn't. I stepped aside. She entered cautiously, as if the air itself might sting. She moved like someone afraid of touching a memory. The door shut behind her with a dull, final sound. I didn't ask anything. Just went to the kitchen, poured her a glass of water, something cool and grounding, and handed it to her. She held it with both hands, like she needed to hold onto something real. "Thanks," she whispered. We sat across from each other in silence. No words, no movement, just the heavy quiet between 2 people who once shared everything and now shared nothing. My mind slipped back to that night, the last time I saw her. It was a Thursday, late September. The air had started to chill, mornings cold enough to mist the windows. She was in the kitchen scrolling through her phone. I sat at the table, poking at dinner. We hadn't fought, but we hadn't really spoken either. There's a silence that feels calm, and another that feels haunted. Ours was the haunted kind. Finally, she put her phone down. "There's something happening Saturday," she said. "Just a small gathering. Kylie's hosting some work friends." I didn't look up. The same Kylie who nearly burned our kitchen last New Year's? The one who called me too serious after I stopped her from driving drunk? "She said she's sorry," Lena added, reading my face like she always did. "She invited me. I want to go." "You didn't ask," I said quietly. She tensed. "Okay, can I go?" That line, it wasn't about control. It was about how she already knew I'd say no, but still asked like I was a stranger granting permission. "I don't trust that crowd," I told her. "Every time you come back from them, you're drained and angry." "It's just one night," she said. "A few drinks, some music." "It's not about drinks," I replied. "It's about how you keep choosing that world over this one. Over us." She rolled her eyes. "So now I'm disrespecting you just by going out?" "It's about priorities, Lena. That party, those people, they don't care about you." "I do." "You're making it deeper than it is," she muttered. "It is deep," I said flatly. "If you walk out that door to that party, this marriage is over." No shouting, no drama. Just truth. She didn't cry, didn't shout, just looked at me, calm and cold, and said, "Then I guess you already know what's going to happen." Then she walked out. Saturday came. I stayed home, half watching a game I couldn't recall. The house felt hollow, too still, too neat. Just before midnight, my phone buzzed. It was Dylan, an old friend, one who used to work with her. We hadn't spoken in over a year. His message read only, "You need to see this." Attached was a video. Loud music, flashing lights, laughter spilling through the speakers. And there she was, Lena, on someone's shoulders, drink in hand, mascara running. She kissed a stranger's cheek, dancing like the world outside didn't exist. People were chanting her name. I didn't feel anger. Not even pain. Just certainty. When the video ended, I packed a bag. 15 minutes. Everything I needed fit inside. I'd already opened a new account weeks earlier. Some instinct had whispered to prepare. I moved my savings, left a note. Don't look for me. By 2 a.m., I was gone. No calls. No scenes. That was the last time I saw her until tonight. Now, 5 years later, she sat across from me, clutching her glass like it might shatter. I didn't know what was in the drink, she said at last, her voice faint. I stayed silent. Kylie handed it to me right when I arrived. Said it was something special. I didn't even take my coat off. I took one sip. That's all I remember. She gave a broken laugh. I woke up on the floor.
My phone was gone.
I didn't even know what day it was. When I saw your note, she went on, it felt like something inside me fell through the earth. I tried to find you. Your number was gone. Your family didn't know. Your job wouldn't say. Even Dylan had no idea. I made sure that, I said quietly. She flinched. My calmness seemed to unnerve her more than any anger could. I hired a private investigator after a year, she continued. It took forever to track you down. I met her eyes. So, why now? Her shoulders dropped. Because I couldn't live with the lie anymore. Kylie admitted it after I threatened to press charges. Said it was just a joke, to loosen me up. My jaw tightened. I sued, she said. Settled. But that wasn't the point. I just needed you to know I didn't choose to vanish like that. She searched my face for forgiveness, for something soft. I met her gaze and said, I believe you. Relief flickered across her features until I added, but that's not why we ended. Her hope faded. It wasn't the drink or the video, I said. It was when I told you if you walk out that door, we're done. And you didn't even hesitate. Her eyes lowered. I didn't know what I was walking into, she murmured. But you knew exactly what you were walking out of, I replied.
Pause.
I wasn't asking you to give up your friends, I said softly. I was asking you to fight for us. And you didn't. She looked down. I loved you, she whispered. I still do. I know, I said quietly. Her voice broke. So, is there anything left? I stood, walked to the door, and looked back. I gave you my answer 5 years ago. She rose slowly, shoulders heavy. I've replayed that night in my head 100 times, she said. Maybe if I hadn't taken that drink. Maybe if I'd stayed. Maybe if I'd just let us argue instead of leaving. She hesitated. I'm not asking for another chance, she added softly. I knew that was gone before I came. I just needed you to see me. I nodded once. I see you. She lingered, then stepped out into the night. I closed the door, no slam, just a quiet click. A voice came from the living room. Is she gone? Clara stood there, arms folded. The woman who stayed when I was hollow. She never asked for explanations. Just stayed.
She's gone, I said.
Clara sat beside me, placing her hand on my knee. You okay? Yeah, I replied. We didn't say anything else. We didn't have to. The silence wasn't heavy anymore. It was mine. Here's what people misunderstand about love. They think it means holding on no matter what. But real love sometimes means knowing when to let go, when to close the door and never reopen it. Lena came looking for closure, but I'd already found mine. A week later, I quietly filed the divorce papers I'd kept all these years. Not out of bitterness, not revenge, just to make it real. That story was over. And this time, I was the one who turned the page.